This is going to be a small firework prep video, getting ready for the 4th of July. I've got 3 different things that I want to make. The first one's going to be a parachute board for the kids. The second one, I have 2 spring fling spinners that I want to make a very simple stand for, so I can mount it to a 4x4 post and then light both of those spinners at the same time. And then lastly, I've got those 3 Hypnotic wheels that I want to mount to a stand so I can light all 3 of those at the same time as well. This video is going to be focused on the build aspect of these projects, so there won't be any demonstrations. I do plan on sharing the effect of both of the spinner stands, but that's going to be after I film it, so you can probably expect that after the 4th of July sometime. I've got these parachutes right here, and so I can keep them all together, I'm going to use these screws and attach them to a piece of plywood. I'm choosing to drill 2 separate holes on opposite corners of all of these. Here's a piece of plywood I'm going to use for this. Nothing too elaborate. I just marked a really simple grid design on there so I can try to keep these parachutes equally spaced apart. And it doesn't have to be exact. Those lines are more of just reference. To attach these, I'm going to use these inch-long screws. Doesn't necessarily have to be an inch long. These are almost a little bit too long, but it's something that I have. And I really like the fact that they have this wide head. So that's why I picked these. This is going to be the post that I'm going to use for these spinners. As you can tell, that's the nail from the other spinner. All I did with this post was I buried it about a foot in the ground, and then to give it a little bit of extra stability, I drove sticks in the front and the back and attached them to this post. For these 2 spring fling spinners, I'm going to make a real simple stand. Got this scrap piece of 2x4. This is 47 inches long. Going to come in 1.5 inches on either side and attach those spinners. And then we're going to drill 2 separate holes right here in the middle to attach this 2x4 to the 4x4 post. To attach these spinners, they come with these giant nails, but I don't like the way they fit. I just feel like this fit is a little bit loose for my liking. So I'm going to use 2 of these 5/16 all thread bolts. These are 5 inches long. It's a much tighter fit on that. Drill the first hole, we're going to use a 5/16 bit. Alright, got the holes drilled for these bolts. I just need to make them a tiny bit wider to accommodate for these washers, and also a tiny bit deeper, just so when I'm securing these spinners, I can have an entire nut's worth of threads on the back to secure it. I'm going to be using a 7/8 Forstner bit, and because I already have that middle hole already drilled out, I've got this piece of wood here with a guide hole, just so hopefully when I'm drilling this hole, it's not so wobbly. On the side that's going to be seen, got the bolt head and a washer. Then on the underneath side, we've got a washer, double nuts, and I tighten those nuts against each other at a little bit of a loose fit just so it'll spin freely, and then a washer right there on top of that. And then just on the back there, just a single washer and a nut. Essentially, this is what it's going to look like. I hope the distance between these 2 spinners is good and it has a really nice effect. We got our makeshift 4x4 post right here, and just 2 screws attaching it to the 4x4 post. Use these GRK screws to do that. And I hope it's not too much of an issue. This one is at a slight angle backwards, so it does spin more freely than that one down there. That one's more straight up and down, but they both spin very easy with minimal effort, so I think it should be fine. For these Hypnotic wheels, I'm actually really excited to see these in person. I've wanted to try them for some time now. I think if those effects go the way they're supposed to, I think that'll look really cool. For these, I'm gonna make a stand so I can light all three at once and see what that looks like. And I will actually be using the nail provided because it actually has a nice fit and it's not too sloppy. This stand is going to be super simple, just two 2x4s that I'm going to attach together. We're going to drill one hole over here for our first spinner. We'll come over here, drill our second hole for our second spinner, and then all the way up top here, we're going to drill a hole for that third spinner. And then to attach the two pieces together, I'm actually going to drill holes through this 2x4 going that way and actually run screws through here, attaching them together. I'm going to drill two holes with this 1/2" Forstner bit, and I've got my drill press set to as deep as it'll drill. That way the screws will go through this and they'll penetrate deep into the other piece of wood. To get the hole for the nail, I'm going to use this 1/8" drill bit, and I'm hoping that the hole being 1.5 inches away from the edge and the size of the hole, I'm hoping that removes enough material so that when driving that nail, it doesn't actually split this right here. To attach these two pieces together, I'm going to use these GRK screws. Still got a little bit to go, so I'm going to use this extension. I'm going to attach these to the stand. I'm not sure if it matters, but I'm going to have fuse side up on these. And the main goal here is to drive these deep enough to where it secures this to the stand, but not too deep to where it doesn't spin freely. Another thing, I'm going to take my time nailing these because I don't want to miss that nail and hit the packaging because that might damage the product and it not work as well. Here's this stand all done. I kind of wish I would have looked at these Hypnotic wheels a little bit closer because I might have positioned them the wrong way. On the side with the fuse, you got a little bit more of a plastic spacer to keep you further away from the wood so the wheels don't rub as they rotate. And some of these actually do rub the wood a little bit, so I'm worried that they might not work as well. So we got this first one, spins freely, doesn't rub. And we got this one, spins freely, but it does rub quite a bit. We got this one up top, spins freely, and it does rub a little bit. Then last thing on this, we've got these 4 screw holes. That's how it's gonna attach to the 4x4 post. All right, that's it for this prep work video. I wanna say thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I do have a lot more prep work to do to get ready for this season. So I will be posting more videos like this leading all the way up until the 4th of July.